Hi, you're watching Video 101 and I'm John Crossman. Thanks for watching. Today we're talking about number 9 on the list of characteristics of effective video editors from a technical standpoint, and that is making sure that you have at least one monitor that you trust the color and the brightness of. As in audio, where you have been told by me to use your meters and not your ears, the same way with monitors. Now, a new monitor is going to be calibrated and should be really good to go, but you can double check it by calling up bars, which many editing systems will. Under new, it will let you create a video clip of bars, and you should be able to see the detail in the bars if it's too bright and it kind of washed out, or if it's too dark and you can't see it. Well, then you can make adjustments to your monitors. But today, in the age of digital flat panel displays, most of them are pretty good. They may not have the richness of color like HDR they call it, but the actual accuracy of the brightness should be pretty close if you've got a brand name monitor. The aid that you'll have in a editing program to help you with that is called a vector scope or a waveform scope, and you'll probably have to open up that window in your editing program. But whatever picture you have in your they're set up different ways, and I can't go through every way it could be set up, but on my system, whatever's in the program monitor is what shows up in the waveform or vector scope monitor. And I can actually have the waveform and the vector scope open at the same time. The vector scope is showing you colors, and so if you're looking at your monitor and people look a little green or they look a little yellow, you should see where flesh tones should be in generally the red area, and if you look at the picture and the flesh tones look like they're not quite in the right place, then you know you have to adjust the hue of the picture. On the waveform, if the picture looks a little dull or the whites look too white, they might be getting clipped. Anything that's actual pure white should be 100 in your picture if it's correctly exposed. Now, there's a lot of adjustments that can be made in the field. If someone is talking and they don't have a light and their background is brighter than they are, of course they would be a silhouette unless the cameraman iris is open, so they can see the person's face and their features and their details. The background might be blown out. Still, that will cap at 100%, and so but barring some scene like that, in a normal general scene, you would expect anything that's pure white to be right at 100 or very near 100, and anything that's very dark or black would be at 7.5 on the scope. And then in my experience with the cameras that I deal with most of the time, it's very often I need to bring up the kind of the middle of the picture, and I'll use lumetri color and probably use the curves to adjust that rather than the exposure and all that. That's the exposure, and those basic correction tools are very sensitive, and so I can get a good overall tweaking of the picture using curves. But it's what we're talking about here is technically you need to be able to trust your monitor so that when you look at it and you go, something looks wrong, you know it's not the monitor that looks wrong, you know it's actually your footage that you've got to adjust one way or the other. So that's number 9. We'll wrap this up with the last number 10 of the technical list of characteristics for an effective video editor. You're watching Video 101. I'm John Crossman. Thanks for watching.